All right, we are heading into chapter 4 of Memoir Mastery, a step-by-step guide to writing your life story. We're going to start into developing authentic characters with section 1, writing about yourself as a character. And if you're ready, let's just dive right in. Now, first things first, writing about yourself as a character is the whole point of doing that is to make a three-dimensional portrait of yourself on the page. You want people to be able to read your memoir and understand who you are and what you stand for, what makes you unique, what makes you tick. Let them get to know you. And by doing that, you're showing them your character. So you're not becoming a character, you're showing them your character. Let's go ahead and get started. All right, so the number one way and method of writing about yourself as a character is to embrace vulnerability. Now, I know that for a lot of us, it's tough to even ask for help, to show your weakness. But in a memoir, it's literally intended to do just that. This is where you talk about when you're open, when you're honest, when you let the walls down. So embrace that vulnerability and don't be afraid to share your struggles, your fears, your failures along the way. It's those moments that your reader is actually going to feel most connected with you. You don't need to ham it up or be more than authentic, but don't be afraid to embrace your vulnerability and just be authentic, be real. Number 2, create a character arc. Now, just like in a novel or a movie, your character in the memoir should have a clear arc. And by arc, I mean a journey that leads you from where you were to where you become. And that has to be a clear journey, especially as you plan this out. You want to plan what you're going to talk about, what you're going to share. You need to know that clear arc so that you can really know where to go deep, where to stay, up at 10,000 and 30,000 feet. It's important to be clear on that and to know who you are as you go into that. Number 3, use descriptive language. And of course, we've talked about this. You want to make sure that you paint a vivid picture of yourself, of on this page, as someone's reading, they know who you are. So don't be afraid. And I don't mean, you weigh 146 pounds and you're this and your hair is long and stringy. You can share some of that if you want to, if it pertains to the story, but let them know you, what's inside you. And use that descriptive language, using the sensory details, the dialogue, the metaphors, the similes, all that stuff that we've talked about. Show versus tell. Number 4, develop your character traits. Now, just like in a novel, your character in a memoir should have very distinct character traits that make them unique. And by them, I mean you. So identify what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are, your quirks. If you have a tick, if you bite your nails, whatever it is, don't be afraid to, at least on some level, talk about those things, because that lets the reader into your inner circle. They get to know who you are. Number 5, use the internal dialogue. And we've talked about this. That internal dialogue will immediately help that reader know what you're thinking, because you're not lying, you're being honest, and you're actually letting them into your head. Now, only through internal monologue or dialogue can you let them know all of the thoughts. They could be, the gritty thoughts, the dirty thoughts, the things that you're ashamed of, the things that you're most proud of, the things that, when you're most hurt. It's letting them in on that will get them fully engaged into your story. And then, of course, number 6, yep, show, don't tell. We've discussed it, and I will discuss it probably in every video. It's just so important that you use the right terms, the right verbiage to make sure that your reader is in a sensory environment, that they feel what you're going through as you share your story. And number 7, use humor. Like we've mentioned, humor can be a powerful tool to breaking up tension, adding levity to your story. You want to use it to show your readers that you're not so full of yourself or your story, that you can laugh, that no matter what you're going through, you can step back and just laugh about something. It's important to not always be too serious. Uh, you don't want to necessarily have an out of character break, like you don't want to throw humor in the middle of punching someone, unless that's actually, the point. So don't be weird about it, but humor is a good thing. Now, number 8, use dialogue. And this is one of those things that to me is almost up there with number 1, because dialogue does so much. The two people or more than two people conversations, when you have that dialogue, you're able to let your reader into the conversation. It's like they're sitting there watching you have an argument with someone or have a sensitive talk with someone, and you're just letting them sit there in the room with you like a fly on the wall. And you can move the story. You can actually move the story as you put the actions into your dialogue. So use of dialogue is a very, very strong technique. Number 9, conflict. Don't forget to put conflict in it. Now, one thing that I do want to make sure that you understand is conflict isn't always just fighting. I have a conflict with you, so I don't like you and I don't agree with you. That's not the only way you have conflict. Sometimes conflict is just simply, maybe you're on a weight loss journey for your health or something, and the conflict is trying to lose the weight and stay healthy or get healthy. The conflict isn't always with someone else. Sometimes it's an internal conflict. So don't be afraid to use conflict. And honestly, the more conflict you add, you probably want to make it a little bit, small conflict that gets bigger. And like on the hero's journey that we talked about, at some point you're going to bust through the wall and you're going to come out the other end. Number 10, symbolism. Now, symbolism is a powerful tool in creating meaning and adding depth to your story. It represents ideas and emotions and themes, and it connects the reader on a deeper level. Number 11, I love this one because we've said it a lot of different ways, but it's show your flaws. Don't be afraid. Like I said, biting your nails. What if you're a habitual liar and you don't know why you lie, but you just do? And someone could say that the sky is blue, and you would tell them it's green. Don't be afraid if you have a flaw to be open and share that with your reader, because they're not judging you. They're connecting with you. Your readers know that you're sharing your story and that it's about authenticity and that you're being vulnerable. So they're not buying your story or reading your short story to hurt you or judge you. They want to get to know you. So let them. Um, Number 12, flashbacks. Again, flashbacks are a really great tool to use if you maybe left something out earlier, or maybe, I one of the times that I've used flashbacks in fiction is when somebody is moving out of a house and they're looking room to room and having memories of different things that happened in each room of their houses they're leaving. And in that, I was able to pull a memory of a previous spousal abuse, and that was something that, really brought some character and deeper understanding of the protagonist and what she was going through. So when you use flashbacks, you're able to really kind of pinpoint something that there's no other way to fit it into your current day story. And then number 13, be honest. Just remember that this is about your story. If you want to write fiction, write fiction. But if you're writing a memoir, let it be honest, let it be authentic. Don't sugarcoat your bad things, and don't amplify, anything good or bad. Just be real. Uh, the readers often will be able to feel that it's not authentic, and they may put the book down, or they'll totally fall in love with you. And then just remember, writing about yourself as a character is all about creating a portrait of who you are, and making this flat piece of paper a real person. And I know you can do this. Just get in there. It's going to take some emotion, some maybe some the self therapy, and just make yourself the character that you really are. Be relatable. Go out there, have some fun, and let your creativity soar.